Hi everyone, good evening or good morning or good afternoon, wherever in the world you are from. So please say hi if you're on and welcome to my very first live stream on Facebook. I hope everyone has had a lovely Christmas. So for starters, Merry Christmas. Hope you had a lovely day and hopefully you spent it celebrating with your loved ones and eating lots of good food and drinking responsibly. So yeah, the reason why I'm doing this live stream is, well, for two reasons mainly. First of all, I actually want to face one of my biggest fears, which is being in front of the camera. Which is ironical because, people look at me and say, oh my God, you of all the people having a fear in your life, how is that even possible? But yeah, it is what it is. I'm actually terrified of the camera. I mean, I can be on stage and do a public speech in front of 2,000 odd people. I can be on stage and sing in front of 4,000 people. No dramas. But the minute you put a camera in front of my face, I just want to pee in my pants. So that's why I thought to myself that, okay, let's face our fears, let's face it head on and just roll on and see how it goes. The other reason why I am doing this live stream is because I have just transitioned into becoming a language coach. Now, that's a very fancy way of saying that I am a online English teacher. But they say that, you gotta be the character and identity, a certain someone who's on my friends list has told me, and I really follow and believe that you need to be the identity and character you want to become right now in order to manifest your dreams into reality. And my long-term dream is to become a coach. I just have not found my niche yet, but hey, better late than never. Hello, teacher. Good to see you, my teacher in Thailand, and Ben and Yasna. Yeah, I miss you too, teacher. And for the rest of you, hello and welcome on board. So yeah, as I was saying, I am actually a language coach right now. So I'm basically teaching people online, and mainly it's people in China and Vietnam. Now, because I want to transition into becoming a coach in the long run, I thought I would use this opportunity to get some feedback from you guys as to how I'm going, basically. So how do you think my body language is, how my energy is, how I'm engaging with my student, and also how my presence is. Because what I want to do is build my own online brand, either as a language coach or as a coach in a completely different niche. And one of the main reasons or one of the main ways in which you reach your audience or reach out to your audience is via doing live streams. And by doing that, you actually get a sense of how things are. So what I want you guys to do is spend this amount of time to basically see how I'm going. So how I am interacting with my student, if I'm building a rapport, how my energy is, how my presence is, and please give me some feedback. It can be anything. If it's shit, please tell me it's bad. If it's good, please tell me it's good. If it's bad, I want to know why. So how I can improve myself. So that's really what I'm looking for. Now, I know at this point I don't really have an audience per se, but this is just like a little. You guys are my guinea pigs basically. So I thought, why not give myself a bit of room and make some mistakes and learn from you guys, and hopefully you guys are as brutally honest as I am in terms of giving feedback. Anyway, so just to put the upcoming lesson into context a little bit, so I'm going to do that. So the student that I have on board, her name is Vivian, and she's from China, so Chinese girl, in year 12. So really nice girl, very mature, very grounded, really wants to learn, and her English is remarkably good. What I'm going to focus on today is we're learning about the role of communities and how you can help out in your community. So communities can range from anywhere between a neighborhood, or it could be a school or a college or university. So how communities help out each other and what they do to make a difference in that community is what we've been looking at for the past 2 weeks. Today in particular, the lesson that we're going to do, I'm going to start off with a homework task that I gave her. And so then she will obviously read out what her homework says. And after that, we're going to go into reading a text, a realistic fiction text on Hurricane Katrina. And what I'm going to get her to do is think about, in the text, ask her some comprehension questions, obviously, and think about how the characters of this particular story have helped the community where the Katrina hurricane struck in the US. And just going to look at the concept of visualization, so how the description of the storyline is helping her visualize different sections of the story, as well as looking into a little bit about what realistic fiction actually means. I'm going to throw in a bit of grammar, just going to have a bit of a conversation with her. But yeah, like I said, I would be really appreciative and grateful if you guys can give me some feedback on how this is going. If it's good, please give it a thumbs up, give me some feedback verbally or in words. If it's going shit, if it's going terrible, please tell me that as well. And also tell me how I can improve myself. You may have a bit of trouble hearing my student, but I have turned up the volume of the laptop at its maximum. And the volume of this one is also at its maximum. So like I said, my preparation here has been pretty slack. But hopefully, yeah, we should be okay. If, on the other hand, you guys can't hear my student, I'm going to move my laptop a little bit closer as well, just so you guys can hear her. But if you guys can't hear, please let me know, and I will try and fix it. Yeah, but yeah, it's very spontaneous, very spur of the moment that I did this. I mean, I did intend to go live. It's just I didn't really think about, all these little challenges that I have, and something I just have to get used to now. Anyway, I don't know if she's on. Let's have a look. And I just have to do the live broadcast, authorize speak, and apply speak. And where am I? I can't even go on this. Okay. Broadcast video. Okay, lovely. Vivian, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Perfect.
You're perfect. That's lovely. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you too.
How was your Christmas? What did you do today?
Had some Christmas meals
Mm-hmm.
finished my academic task.
Okay. Lovely. So you had a bit of a balance between work and play, which is fantastic. That's really good to hear. Okay. Now I've been hearing that in China, a lot of people, they give apples on the day of Christmas. Correct me on this one. Is that correct or wrong?
Apples?
Yeah, the little kids have been saying to me that they give out apples to other people. I don't know. I'm just going by what they have told me. Yeah. So is it correct or wrong?
I didn't do it before, but actually I've heard it, but I don't know why.
Okay, so you heard it, but okay. But I'm just curious, whether that is a tradition. Yeah, whether that is a tradition, that is something that you guys actually do. So that's why I was just wondering if that's the case. But anyway, you've kind of clarified that doubt for me. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, typically, what do you do? Anything special for Christmas, or is it just another? You have the day off, I'm assuming.
Yesterday I went to the stores
Mm-hmm.
to buy some fruits.
Okay.
Some bread, shaped with
Okay.
vegetable and reindeer, things like this.
Okay. So you did a bit of shopping. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So anyway, so that's good that you had a good day. It was really nice to hear that. Okay. So let us jump on first and foremost into your homework task. So, as far as I remember, just refresh my memory on this one. So, I had told you to do a task where, so you're in the same situation where you are in America, you've joined university, and you want to help out the university community. So I gave you 4 questions. What will you do to help out the university community? Again, I wanted you to focus on doing something that you love, right? Something that you have an interest in, you have a passion for. Number 2, also, how will this benefit the community? Number 3, how will you basically make the services available to the community? And number 4, how will you know that your services are effective and they're doing the job? So yeah, just whenever you're ready, I'm all ears. So I'm all ears in terms of listening to what you have to say. So fire away.
I can initiate a lot of quality to assist students and teachers who lose their items in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I will make several boxes in different places in the country with post-it notes beside, beside it. If someone lost his item, he can scribble one down and write down the details of the item.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, what kind of thing he lost and what does it look like.
Mm-hmm.
Then he can list his own information, which includes his name, grade, and class.
Mm-hmm.
And I will find some friends to apply it practice together. Maybe at first we can find some executive leaders from the group to present our idea. Then we can advertise it to ensure every student is informed of, um, probably by broadcast or posters. At last, we need to find something which is accidentally collected. And we have to, and we also have to inform them of where they can hand in or fetch their items. And to keep it organized, every process should be in order. We should ensure that the participants are selfless and fair.
Is that it?
That's all.
Is that all? Okay. You've done something really good. You've got an initiative that you've clearly explained how it's going to benefit, how you're going to get your message across to the students. The only thing I would say is you are making still some grammatical errors, like the word campus. That's the one that stuck out to me. It's not campus, it's campus.
Campus.
Lovely. Yeah, so it's campus. Yeah, so that's brilliant. So, and you are making some grammatical errors, but it's not earth-shattering. In terms of your content, you've done really well. So, big pat on the back for doing that. Like I said, so, your pronunciation and also your grammar is what we will be focusing on a little bit. So, so today, so let's move on to what we're doing today. So far we have looked at small communities. So things you do in a community on a regular basis so that people feel connected, people feel like they belong there, and people have things to do. Now, one of the situations in which the importance of community is paramount is when we have what's called natural disasters. Have you heard of the word natural disasters before? Okay, good. So, can you give me an example of a natural disaster, please?
The earthquake.
Beautiful. An earthquake is a very good example of a natural disaster. Does China have earthquakes?
Very little
Mm-hmm.
possibility.
Okay.
We still have one big earthquake, but in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
one area just happened 8.0 earthquake, and that hurt a lot of people and
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously you know your earthquakes very well because you're telling me about the Richter scale and all that, which is brilliant. It's really good to hear that. So apart from earthquakes, are there any natural disasters in China?
Uh, Flood.
Floods. Okay. When was the last time there was a flood in China?
The last one, I think every year we'll have some rainfall areas that have flood, that suffer from flood. It's often
Mm-hmm.
a big part of Chinese nature disaster.
All right. Okay. So when floods happen, um, first of all, basically, I mean, what does the government do to help out help out the people who have been devastated and who are suffering?
Sorry, I can't hear. Yeah,
You can't hear me? Okay.
can
So my question is, whenever there's a flood in China, what happens? What does the government do to help the people who have been affected by the floods?
we will have a specific police team
Okay,
that
peace team. Mm-hmm.
and when sometimes the floods are open,
Mm-hmm.
they need to go to the places where suffered from the floods and give them some items which is necessary and build some emergent houses for the victims. And maybe we'll have some phones, because the flood is so fierce and maybe some cars will blow up it. So it's uh, fierce and things
Mm-hmm.
like this.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll put
Mm-hmm.
it under the sink
Okay.
and
All right. Good. You've given a very good description of what happens in China. Do you get support from other countries? So things like World Vision or organizations in other countries um, to to help you out in this situation during floods.
of course we'll have, but I don't know which exact countries will help us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, we can't see it clearly on the television,
Mm-hmm.
know it, but we don't know which countries will help us.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay. So you told me about floods. You told me about earthquakes. Now, in Australia, a very, very common natural disaster is bushfires. So so what happens is we have, especially like today was a very hot day, for example, and what happens is when the temperature rises, trees basically kind of rub against each other and they go and hit an electric pole, and that can spread a massive, massive bushfire. I think nearly almost 8 or 10 years ago, there was we have a day called Black Saturday, which was one of the biggest bushfires, which affected like half the country. It was very, very devastating, and a lot of houses were burned. A lot of people of they suffered from burns. Just it was a lot of towns and everything were destroyed. I mean, places where people would normally go for holidays, that did not exist anymore. The good thing with Australia is that we have a lot of support and aid and relief from a lot of organizations. So they can range from things like the Salvation Army to the Australian Red Cross to St. John's Ambulance Services, State Emergency Services. Everyone really binds together and helps people out in need. So it's not just helping them build houses, but also giving them, because the people who go through it, they suffer from a lot of trauma, and they suffer from they see some horrific things, and so they give them a lot of emotional help as well. and obviously the medical system, they're really under the pump when that happens. So the point of what I'm saying is because during a situation like this, communities really come together, and they really, I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't even need to know the person that who has been affected. You have this instinct, a humanitarian instinct to go out and go out of the way and help out the people who've been affected. Yes, so that is what we're basically going to be looking at today. So in this story, remembering Hurricane Katrina, you're going to learn about a person who has been a part of Hurricane Katrina when it was actually happening. So Hurricane Katrina was a natural disaster that did happen in the States a few years ago, in the US a few years ago. So this particular person is giving their description of how it affected the community and what people did to get the community back in order and back functioning and things like that. So when we go back to the basic question, again, we're looking at the same thing. In what ways can you help out your community? But in this context, it is to do with in a natural disaster situation, not just, I'm joining a university, nothing's gone bad, nothing's gone horrific. I'm just going to be giving my time and energy and helping people out. So that's not quite the case here. Here you've got a really disastrous situation. So what exactly happens? So yeah, we'll just read paragraph by paragraph, and I'll just give you some tasks to do. So yeah, whenever you're ready, just start reading, please. Okay, so that's good. You read it very well and your pronunciations were pretty good. So let us now look at just some of the words and some of the tasks that you might be able to do on here. So, question. Where is the person right now? So where is he telling the story from? Sorry, where was that? In his car, absolutely. So how do you know that he was in his car? Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And there's one more thing. Absolutely. So steering wheel, windshield and backseat. All the parts of a car are here, essentially. So he obviously is telling you that he's in a car. Okay, so what is the weather like?
It's not good. It's going to have a storm.
Good. And possibly rain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so what does the word leaning mean?
It's not straight. It's just go into one side.
So can you show it to me with your hand or something like that when you're leaning against something?
Show with my hand.
Or you can show it anywhere, it doesn't matter.
Just
Good, yes. So when I'm doing this, I'm leaning towards you, right? So that's what leaning is. You're moving forward. Okay. Now, next question. Scattered. So if you remember, we did this word last week. So what do you think scattered means?
spread.
Good, spread. So spread everywhere, absolutely. So tell me one thing in your house that is scattered.
My socks.
Your socks. Yeah, that's a pretty convincing answer. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good answer. Yes, socks can be scattered. Obviously, you are a bit of a messy person like me. I'm not having a go at you. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, I'm a pretty messy person, and there's nothing wrong. I hate actually people who are messy. They say that they're actually the most intelligent people. So you're doing really well. So good. Okay, now glancing. What does glancing mean? exactly. So you are just looking over something. That's right. And stacked. What does stacked mean?
I don't know.
Okay, I will show you a stack. Now this is a place where I have stacked all these folders over here. So basically you're putting them next to each other. Yeah? So yeah, you're putting them next to each other. Yeah? And that is what, so he's got clothes that he has stacked on the back seat of his car. Yeah? Good. So, at this stage, how is the author or the narrator, how is he feeling?
He feels maybe not very happy.
Well, look at the last sentence. I'm not sure if he's not very happy. Look at the last sentence.
Why he smiles.
Yeah, he's kind of smiling to himself. He's kind of thinking, okay, we're gonna have a bit of a rain, and he surprised me what it's like or something. So yeah, good. So yeah, so that's pretty good. You're doing well. Okay, now let's have a read through the next paragraph, please.
A torrential downpour of rain began beating against my windshield as lightning flickered across the sky. I pulled the car off the road until my driving visibility improved. People on the both sides, the sidewalk, held scissors and briefcases over their heads in a futile effort to keep from getting wet. Children screamed and danced around in the downpour. The wind remembered me of another storm 2 years earlier.
Beautiful. Now, you tried to pronounce the words correctly, which was brilliant. I love the effort that you put in doing that, so well done. The only word which I thought you could pronounce better was reminded.
Oh, reminded.
Absolutely, reminded.
Reminded.
Yep, well done. Okay, so based on, is there any word in this paragraph that you've never heard of before, or you don't know the meaning of?
Torrential.
Okay, torrential is a specific type of rainfall. Now, torrential is it's more, what can I say? More heavy, not light, not like a drizzle, a more heavy kind of rain. Yep. So that is what torrential means. Any other word over here that you don't understand?
Flicker.
Sorry, I didn't understand that. Flickered. Flickered. So flickered is like this. So flicking. So if, say, a mosquito comes here or a fly comes here, I just go flick it. So yeah, if I have a bit of hair here, I flick it. So that's flick, yeah. So, what else? Is there any other word here that you don't understand? Futile is a very wasted effort, or a very low effort, that they're not putting much effort into it. Yeah? Makes sense? Mm-hmm. Anything else? Any other word?
No.
Yeah? Okay, fantastic. All right. So, let us go back here. Oh, whoops. Okay. 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 So, at this stage, what is the rainfall like? Is it very light? Is it very heavy? What is it like?
It is very heavy.
or it's becoming very heavy. Yeah. And so if, say, rain is hitting the windshield of a car, what does somebody do to make sure that they can see the road ahead of them when they're driving?
Maybe use to stick on the
Mm-hmm.
sheet.
Yeah, what are those sticks called? What are those sticks called?
I don't know.
Okay, they are called, you're right, they are called wipers.
Oh,
Wipers. So they are the ones that go like this, and this. So by doing that, hey, torrential rain reminds me. I was in Bali in September, and I was riding a scooter. First time ever I was riding a scooter in my entire life, and it was a torrential, huge torrential downpour. And when you're on a scooter, you don't have wipers. You have nothing. I had a helmet and I had the shield, but I could not see the road ahead of me at all. I couldn't see the road ahead of me. I couldn't, even when I took the thing off, I couldn't see anything. And Bali, the traffic is terrible. I just literally prayed that I should, I should not die. But yeah, that's what happened. And I survived. I saw what I had to see, and I came out alive. So I think I did well. Okay, so obviously, one of the things that you do in the car is to see better. Is you do that. What else do you do when it's raining to your car to make sure that you can see better?
he pulls the car off the road.
Okay, what, like, say you have to be in the car. So say if you are in the car.
All I can do is to make the wipers.
Yes. But what can normally happen is you can actually also have a bit of a foggy kind of area. So a bit of a foggy area just where the windshield is. So what you would do in that case is you would switch on what we call an air vent. So air will come and it'll just clear everything. So that's another thing you can do to ensure a good thing that we get, which is visibility. Yeah? So, fantastic. Okay. Now, people on the sidewalk, they held briefcases and purses over their heads. So, when it rains, and say if you're walking, what do you do to make sure that you don't get wet?
I will hold my things in my hand above my head to stop the rain hitting my head.
Okay, well, what else if you know that it's going to rain, what else can you bring from home to make sure that you don't get wet?
Umbrella.
Good, umbrella. Another thing? What else can you bring to make sure that you don't get wet?
The raincoat.
A raincoat. Perfect. Good. So yeah, I lived in London for 2 years. It used to rain all the time there. So yeah, I had to every time I had to wear the right shoes. I had to wear the right trousers. I had to carry an umbrella every day. I know exactly what it's like. Okay, so obviously children screamed and danced around in the downpour. So we've got this one out of the way, and another storm 10 years earlier. So yeah. Now, let us read the next two paragraphs.
Hurricane Katrina smacked into the Gulf Coast of the United States when I was 10 years old. The ferocious storm caused untold amounts of damage. One of my strongest memories from that time was watching the evening news with my aunt. A reporter stood inside Houston
Houston.
as
Astrodome.
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 Yes, Astrodome. Well done. Yeah.
Surrounded by thousands of people.
Mhm.
We all hear the same eerie expression. Many rode horn and dirty clothes, and some had no shoes under their feet. They slowly shuffled along, their faces full of sadness.
Good. Well done. Now, in terms of some words which you could have pronounced better, ferocious.
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 Good. Do you know what ferocious means?
No.
So ferocious is something very strong, very powerful. Yeah, so like a tiger is very ferocious. So something that's very, very strong, it'll just come at you and it's going to attack you. That's ferocious. Yeah? Good. All right. Any other word here that you don't understand the meaning of?
Lamb and cheese.
What was that?
Lamb.
Slam.
In the first line.
Oh, slammed. Slammed. Okay. Slammed is like, I mean, say if there's a door over there and I just go, I mean, instead of opening it and I just go, so I'm doing this. That's slamming. And I've just, changed the shape of what this looks like. So yeah. So I'm just like, pow. That's slamming. Yeah. So they all share the same weary expression. So what do you think weary means?
They are tired.
Mm-hmm. And also a little bit scared, right? Because, you're having a big bloody, beast of a thing coming and, that's going to attack you. And some had no shoes on their feet and they slowly shuffled along. So do you think this is a very organized environment or is it not? Okay. What would you say in one word for something that is not organized? Messy? Or, I don't know if you've heard of this word before, but I'll just type it in and see how we go. Chaotic. Chaotic. So, chaos. So, yeah, so basically it's very disorganized, it's very messy. Like if I go and teach, I'm teaching you right now, but if I go and teach a class of 50 teenagers, which is what I did in Thailand, will it be organized or will it be chaotic? Yes, oh yeah. And you know what made it worse? They didn't speak any English. So if I told them to do something, they wouldn't understand. It was not easy, I tell you. All right. Okay, do you know what shuffled means?
I don't know, but maybe like wonder
What was that?
or wonder.
Wonder. I didn't understand that, sorry. Yeah, sure. Oh, wander. No. It is basically, shuffling is, they're just moving along. So, you're not walking along, you're just like being pushed around, you're being shoved around. That's what shuffling means. Okay? Beautiful. Okay, let us now move on to the next. So you're following the story so far? All good? Good. All right. So again, let's read the next paragraph. We will read up until you just keep reading and I'll tell you when to stop.
Are they here
All right, good. Okay, so in case you are wondering what the word sea is, over here, sea. That's actually not English, that's Italian. So, like Lucia is a very common Italian name, and sea means yes in Italian and Spanish. Same word, and I think even Portuguese actually. Yeah, Portuguese. Yeah, as well. Okay, so New Orleans, Louisiana, good. So they lost everything. So what is a possession?
Everything we have.
Yeah, something that you own, isn't it? Something that you are the owner of. So tell me one of your possessions.
My toys.
Yeah, your toys,
My book.
your phone, yep,
My book.
your books, yep.
Maybe my house.
Okay, pretty good. Are you so someone who is very attached to things that they own are what we call possessive. So it's an adjective. So for example, say babies, like little kids, they are very possessive with their toys. So they don't give their toys to anybody else. Now, my dog, I have a dog, I have a little dog. She is very, very possessive about me. So she doesn't like it. So she doesn't like it when somebody, say I don't know. I mean, say if I'm with someone, if I'm say with a friend, and if I'm just kind of hugging them or giving them a hug, she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. So and sometimes when I hug my mom, she doesn't like it. So she thinks that she owns me. And she's very possessive about our house. So where she lives, about our house, about our garden. So she doesn't like it when people walk, like people she's never met before they walk in. Like, people who we know very well. But for her, they're like, oh, they're coming and, they're stealing something from the house. This is my house. How dare they enter without my permission? So that's her attitude. But she's a dog, Their brains are different, so yeah. Like some women can be very possessive, some men can be very possessive, people can be very possessive about other people in their life. Yeah, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. Okay, so we talked about this. The storm had been formed in a hot and humid tropical weather. So tell me one part of the world where the weather is hot and humid.
Brazil.
What was that?
Brazil.
Brazil, yes, that's a good example. Another one? A country not very far from China. I lived there. I lived there for a while.
Vietnam.
Vietnam, good example. Yep, yep. Another country where I lived. I just told you about it. Very close to Vietnam. I lived there. I taught there. Thailand. And Cambodia, yes. Cambodia, Singapore, all these countries are hot and humid. So, similarly in the US, Texas is very hot and humid. Very, very hot. Maybe dry as well, because Texas is got a bit of a desert there. Okay, it missed us, but other cities were not so lucky. So obviously this hurricane had missed Texas. No, it had come close to Texas, so it had gone to Texas, but it didn't. People who are living in Houston, they were not affected. Okay. Oh, residents. So last week we did residents. Just tell me what a resident is.
Just people who live in a particular place.
Yep, absolutely. Well done. So people who live in a particular place are what we call residents of that area. Good, fantastic, well done. Okay, let us move on now and see what we have to. What else we're looking at? Okay. All right. So, yeah. So just read the rest. Yep.
The TV news reporter looked around. People tried to speak to her, but she was being selective about whom she wanted to interview. I noticed a little boy sitting behind her on the couch, hugging an old teddy bear. Watching him, I knew I had to do something. The next day, my friends joined me at our volunteer club, the Houston Helpers, and together we devised a plan. We wanted to collect toys and give them to the kids, and as told them, of course, we donating the toys would help bring some happiness into the lives of this family. Anxious to get started, we made lists of what we needed to do. Then every one of us was assigned a specific task.
Good. Okay. Again, some pronunciations where you could improve. Selective.
Selective,
Good. Hugging.
hugging,
Good. Next one. Volunteer.
volunteer,
Volunteer.
volunteer,
Excellent.
volunteer,
Good. Devised.
device,
Devised. Yep.
device,
Good. Anxious.
anxious,
Good. Okay, so let us now do some questions. So the TV the TV news reporter looked around. So when you had your flood in China, did you have any coverage from news channels and TV channels?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
all time.
All the time. Okay. So what do you think? Is it a busy time of the year for them?
Sorry?
Is it a busy time for them, TV reporters?
Yes,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it is. And it's also very. Is it organized?
yes.
Are you sure? They're reporting in the middle, in the middle of a place where people are having a hurricane. They're just recovering from a hurricane. Very crowded and things like that. So, do you think it's well organized or?
No, the people are not.
Yes, it's not. The people are not, definitely. So, what do you think it is? So, if it's not well organized, what is it?
It's
Messy,
chaotic,
chaotic. Well done. Good. It is very chaotic. What else?
and they won't listen to the orders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's right.
And they are afraid in their heart.
Mm-hmm. Good. Good. Well done. Okay, so let us move on over here and see what we can do. Okay, so in this case, volunteer. So so what is volunteering? Tell me a little bit about volunteering.
They do something that they not forced by others, but they just do it by themselves
Mm-hmm.
really and offer some help to someone who is in need.
Absolutely. Good. Well done. Yes, so they do it. Yeah, they're volunteers. When you help, is people who help. So, what are some volunteer services that you know of?
The city students who uh, move to some countryside from remote places in holidays to teach the students, the little child, uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, without any payback.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Okay, so that is good. You've given the exact correct definition of that. That's really good. Okay, so in this case, what are the volunteers doing to help the flood victims?
They collected toys and gave them to the kids
Good.
of the area.
Mm-hmm.
And they hope to bring some happiness to the victims.
Mm-hmm.
Just pack some toys and some.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so anxious. What do you think the word anxious means?
They are very. I don't know how to explain it in English.
Mm-hmm. Just give me anything that you can.
They just very. The time is very moving and every situation is not in they're in harsh situation and they feel very failure or they just
Yeah, yeah, you're on the right track. Anxious is someone who's very worried, who's very stressed,
oh
and they want to just get things done. But like, I get anxious a lot. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. Now the word assigned. We did this last week. What do you think assigned means?
just give task or homework to someone.
Good. Not necessarily homework. I mean, in this case, you're not giving homework, are you? So yeah, you're not giving homework in this case. So yeah, it's not. That is not the case, unfortunately. So it's not homework. Yeah, and okay. So basically, you are giving them something to do. What's another word to describe assigned? Assigned. Another word. We looked at synonyms and antonyms last week. Remember? It is designate or allocate. It's gonna type those words in here. So yep. Yeah? Good. Okay, so at this point, obviously, what has happened is, the hurricane has caused a lot of damage. It's caused a lot of devastation. So obviously now they really need help. Okay, so yeah, keep reading on over here.
We agreed to spread the word to our schools and other organizations. 3 days later, after a Herculean effort on our part, the donation bins were overflowing with new toys. I will never forget the day when we entered the astronaut with our gifts. children flew toward us from all directions. Now, smiles lit up new faces as we pulled toys from our bags. Grateful parents thanked us for our generosity and complimented our group leaders on how thoughtful and mature we all were.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's cool. Mm-hmm.
joy, joy takes me back to the 7th, and I noticed that the storm had passed. Passed,
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
and I can't see the words.
Oh. Hector? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes, hi, Jenny. Do you have the donation? A few more families have arrived. More victims from yesterday's tornado. Yes, I have the clothing donation. The storm delayed me, but I'll be there soon. I gingerly eased my car into the suddenly busy traffic. It feels good to know that I was making a difference again.
Good. Well done. So, now one word which one was it? Which you it's tornado.
Tornado,
Tornado.
tornado.
Good. So, do you know what the word Herculean means?
I don't know.
Do you know the superhero Hercules? Hercules, the superhero. So Hercules is a hero. It's like he's like spies. This one, Superman, Batman, that kind of a person. So he's big fellow, really big made, big guy, really strong, and yeah. So 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 in this context, what do you think Herculean means?
Very harsh and paying many effort. Very diligent.
Very diligent. Yep. That sounds good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. So they obviously they're very quick. They're very organized. They're very efficient. Good. Overflowing. Do you know what that means?
Overflowing. The items are too many.
Mm-hmm.
The toys are maybe pulling out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, basically, say if I have this bottle of water, yeah, and it's filled all the way till the top, and if I keep filling more, it'll just overflow. Right? That's what overflowing is. Okay. Thank us for our generosity. So do you remember what generosity means? We did this last week.
A character that somebody likes to share his own things or give his own things to others.
Yeah, good. So someone who gives a lot of something to others. So it's a quality that some people have. That yeah, generosity is definitely a quality. So that's very, very good. Okay, excellent. Good job. So let's move on. What about complimented? What does complimented mean?
Praise.
Praise, absolutely. Well done. Thoughtful, what does that mean?
Also, he thinks a lot from every angle to make the whole thing clear and perfect.
Yeah, so basically they put they do it from their heart. They put a lot of thought into it. Yes. So yeah. Yeah? So, and mature. What does mature mean?
Someone who grows up.
Yeah, someone who is grown up mentally. Someone who is, yeah, someone who's mentally grown up. Absolutely. Good. Yeah, so that's brilliant. Well done. Okay. So apart from toys, what else are the volunteers collecting?
The clothing.
Good. So they're collecting clothes because obviously they lose their homes, so they lose toys and they lose clothes. Yeah. I have the clothing donations. The store delayed. What does delayed mean? Good. Yeah. Something makes somebody late. Absolutely. Good. Okay. And so gingerly. What does gingerly mean? Cautiously. Well done. Good. You remember that from last week. That's brilliant. Okay. Let us move on. Good. Yeah, so it felt good that I was making a difference again. Okay. So we don't have a lot of time. I'm just a little conscious. We've got about another 6 or 7 minutes left, but that's fine. We're gonna skip the visualization. We're gonna skip all of this because we don't have enough time. Okay, so this story is a realistic fiction. Now that may seem ironical, and you're going to think, okay, what is something that is realistic? What is it? What does realistic mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's something that's true, that's factual, absolutely. So yeah, so something that is true, yeah, absolutely, good. That is what realistic means, very much. But it's also a fiction. What does fiction mean? What was that? Yeah, it is a kind of book, but is that book a true story or not a true story? Good. So yeah, like Harry Potter is a fiction. It's not a true story. So, realistic fiction. Now you might think that they are the opposite of one another, and how can they just exist together? Well, so in this case, in this story, there is one thing that is realistic that's actually happened. So what actually happened? Yeah, absolutely. Hurricane Katrina actually happened at a certain time of the year. That was true. That was realistic. That was a factual. That's a fact. That it did happen. Now, but what is fiction? What is the fiction part of the story? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the characters are not real, definitely. The characters in the story are not real. So last week we looked at another story with the person who works in the library and the bookers and everything like that. Was that a realistic story at all? So would you say that was 100% fiction? Yeah, it was totally fiction. Absolutely. Good. So a realistic fiction is a made up story. It includes realistic characters, events, and settings. So in this case, the realistic event is Hurricane Katrina, but the story behind it is made up. It's a fiction. usually has a dialogue. So in this case, you are actually having, what is a dialogue? You tell me that.
The words that people say to each other.
Good, absolutely. So dialogue. So what we're having is a dialogue. And it's a dialogue because it's between two people. If only one person is talking, so for example, you are reading this whole story and I'm just listening. Is that still a dialogue?
No.
What is that then? No. It's so think about it. Dialogue. So die is two. Right? So I'm just gonna sorry. So if one person is saying it, so it's one person, what would that be? No. It's four letters. No. It's a hard word, so at least you tried, which was good. It's a monologue. Monologue. So if you are just reading the story by yourself and I'm just listening, it's just a monologue. If I'm talking to myself, which I admit I do a lot of, it's a monologue. So yeah, good. So that is a monologue and a dialogue. Okay, let's just quickly do that because we're just running out of time. I need to give you your homework as well. Okay. So yeah, and it also has a flashback. So what is a flashback? Can you take a guess? Flashback. Almost there. No, I'll give you one more guess. No, it's actually things that happened in the past that you're recollecting now. So, for example, I see a photo, right? I see a photo from when I was in high school, which was 13 years ago. That's when I left high school. And I see a photo on my computer from my high school. That's a flashback. So it's giving me a memory of what happened then. Okay, so this is now going to be your homework, right? Take a note. So imagine you are a volunteer who is looking to assist people who have been affected by a flood in China. What initiatives will you take to help in the restoration of the life of the victims? So this is more than one. You can do as much as you want. So what things will you do to help the life of the victims? Why did you choose the services you did? So basically, if you choose, donating clothes, donating food, whatever, why did you choose? And which area of China will you volunteer at? What are the demographics of this area? Now, so what area of China you will volunteer at, and what are so demographics means the age of the people, where they come from, what jobs they do. I mean, is it more, I mean, that era, has it got more middle-aged people? Has it got little kids? Has it got elderly people? Yeah? So do you think you'll be able to do that? All right. So yeah, we're just about finished on time now. So Vivian, yeah. So tell me one thing that you learned today.
What can we do after of a nature disaster?
Good. Absolutely. That's what we learned. That's exactly what we learned today. Now, what do you want to improve on for next lesson?
Sorry,
Next lesson, what do you want to improve on? What do you want to get better at?
my pronunciation.
Okay, that sounds fair. Yeah, I keep having a go at you for the pronunciation. Yeah, yeah, your pronunciation is not, earth-shattering disastrous, but it's good. It's good. You're at least trying. You are improving, but definitely there's more room for improvement. Okay, Vivian, so well done for today. You did very well, and yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and Merry Christmas again. I'll see you next week. All right, see you later. Bye bye.